Hey Bronco Nation, I'm Jordan and we are back with another walk around, this time with a Big Bend 4-door Bronco with the Sasquatch package. We're still here in Townsend, Tennessee at Supercell East, and boy, do we have a lot of Broncos. 18 full-size Broncos to be exact. We have videos already out from here, so make sure you go check those out and check out all the pictures online and in the forums as well. But enough about that, let's dive into this Big Bend. We've had a ton of questions and a ton of you in the comments asking for it, so we're super happy we were able to get our hands on one today. Before you say it, yes, I know it's Sasquatch. A lot of you want non-Sasquatch vehicles. Apologize we can't get those, but beggars can't be choosers, so this is what we're working with. Hope to answer a few of your questions and let's hop right on in. Starting off in the front here, you do have a carbonized gray grille with the Oxford white letters, and unique to Big Bend, something you can't get on Black Diamond, is you can get the optional upgraded signature headlights. So regardless of which headlight option you get, they both are LED, but if you like that halo with the bar design, you can option up to those here on this Big Bend Bronco. We also have this Safari bar, or BO bar as I've called it. The great news is Ford recently announced that this has been redesigned. It's going to be raised a little bit so you can actually see the full word Bronco and not just BO, which is great. Ford's listening to the feedback, so keep that feedback coming. So this isn't fully representative of production, but nonetheless, it's still here and we're gonna talk about it. You will see we do have the upgraded heavy-duty modular front bumper with these big tow hooks, although we do not have the 360 parking sensors or the fog lights, which you will see are noticeably absent from this bumper. Moving around to the side, of course with the Sasquatch package, you do get the 17-inch gloss black wheels with that warm alloy beauty ring, beadlock capable of course on 35-inch tires, and then you do have the wider removable fender flares, which I'll go ahead and do now because that seems to be a fan favorite. We're gonna come in and turn these quarter turn locks, 3, 4, 5. I messed this up once, so we're gonna try and not do that today. Ha, I did it, first try, there you go. But of course it comes right off and then it snaps right back into place. So if you damage it, bump it, wanna change colors, wanna just take it off altogether, really easy to do that. Another great function and part of the modularity concept that Ford has really built right into Bronco. Of course you're gonna see this Big Bend badge, not just the Big Bend badge, but the Big Bend Sasquatch badge. You'll see it says Sasquatch right below the Big Bend lettering, and then if you look closely, you'll see a little black silhouette of Sasquatch or Bigfoot here in the corner, which is pretty cool. This vehicle is in iconic silver. I think it goes really nicely with the carbonized gray MIG details around the vehicle. Kind of gives it a stealthy, cool military fighter jet look, or I don't know, I could be wrong, but that's what I think. Mirror caps are plastic and they are gonna be an unpainted plastic, kind of a black, somewhere between black and carbonized gray as well. Of course, they're cowl mounted as is with all Bronco, and they do have the blind spot monitoring or system, or bliss as Ford likes to call it. Moving on down the side, you do have the powder coated tube steps. One drawback with this is you can see normally where the rock rails are mounted is this kind of little lip of metal down here. It is exposed and uncovered. I wish Ford had put kind of like a cap or something on there so it doesn't look as naked. But the tube step looks great. Again, it's gonna help ingress and egress of the vehicle, especially on a vehicle like Sasquatch where the ride height is a little bit raised. Of course, the doors, as with all Broncos, are frameless, and you do have the intelligent keyless access. So if the key's in your pocket, you can just tap the lock to lock or slip your hand under here or in front to unlock the vehicle. Now the door handles on the Big Bend are the black plastic as well. They're not painted like you'll find on Outer Banks. So again, tying all these accents together. This does have the MIC Molten Color hardtop in carbonized gray. You have your two front panels, your center panel, and then your back cap as well. Super customizable to whatever you're doing. You can take just the front panels off, one of the front panels off, the front and mid, whatever best suits your needs and abilities is one of the nice features built right into this MIC hardtop. You'll also notice, as we pointed out in the Outer Banks walk around, the gas cap or fuel fill area seems to have been redesigned. So you still have the easy fuel fill, as is with all Ford products, but it's kind of rubberized and it moves a little bit. So we'll get some close-up B-roll of that so you can see what I'm talking about. But it's new, first time we've seen it on these Broncos, so we thought we would share it with you guys. Moving on around back with those signature LED headlamps, you're also gonna get the upgraded LED tail lights. Bumper's plastic. You do have your parking sensors in the rear, which is nice, although they don't come in the front. Flip this up, you are going to have your door bags. So as you can see here, these are for the front right door, and it sits first from the back, or third from the front in the order of door bags go. So you got your door bags. Again, all 4 doors of the Bronco can store in the back of the 4-door. You also have your bags for your roof panels, so everything stays protected if it's not on your vehicle at any given moment. Now this Big Bend does have the weatherized floor mats. You have your nice kind of raised Bronco logo here, but under that, you are gonna notice it is a carpeted load floor, or rat fur as they sometimes call it. That same material carries over to the back of the 2nd row seats. It is a nice, flat, squared off area. It's not any weird or wonky shape, so you can easily just slide something back here, which is great. The load floor isn't too high up, so you're not gonna have to lift way up to get something in there. Now, as we've pointed out with other 4-door Broncos, and the 2-doors for that matter, there is this lip between the bottom of the cargo area and where the 2nd row seats fold down. I don't know, about a 5-inch gap, 4-inch gap we got there. It does have that plastic cover, which is nice, whereas on the 2-door, it's kind of an exposed mechanism. So this, we've seen, I'm sure we'll see some outfitters come out with things to make this a load flat floor. And then of course, that optional slide out tailgate eventually will be coming hopefully as well. On this side, of course, your accessory ready panel, and this door, the tailgate opens at both 90 and 150 degree angle. And if you come around this side, we talked about it, but we'll talk about it again. With the hardtop, you get these power ports and the wiper fluid port. So if you want to remove the top or switch to a soft top, but don't want to have these flinging around on the back as you're driving down the road, you can mount these to these little ports right here, conveniently placed in the back, and then you're good to go with these secured. Sitting in the back here, you have your 12-volt outlet and your light to illuminate the cargo area. I wish there was a cargo light on this side just to provide that much more illumination, but it is what it is. You'll also notice in these bars, you have your 2 speaker pods mounted here, and under this right one, you do have a built-in bottle opener, which is really cool. Another neat feature that I actually just noticed is right here, both on the left and the right side, we have soft top ready mounting points. So if you take this hard top off, if you get the dual top option and that soft top does come with your Bronco, it is ready to go. And they're actually labeled soft top ready right here, which is a neat little feature Ford has added for you all at home. Climbing on into the back seat of the 4-door here, as I've mentioned before, very comfortable place to be. You are in kind of a stadium seating configuration, so the back seats are a little bit higher than the front seats, allowing you to see over the headrest and out over the front of the vehicle. Now, we've seen some comments about the seats being at a 90-degree angle, and they honestly really aren't. I've mentioned it before, but the bottom seat is a little bit angled up to provide some more thigh support under your legs, just so your legs don't get as fatigued. And again, it is pretty comfortable. Because these are the cloth seats, you do not get the drop-down cup holders, which is a pain point of mine. That leaves you with just 2 cup holders up there, and these door baskets, or door nets, I should say, which is a bummer. I do wish Ford incorporated some cup holders down here, just because you can never have too much of those. I know I've harped on it before, so I'll stop. But you do have power back here for your rear seat passengers. You have a home-style 110 outlet. Then you also have a USB-A and USB-C port. Then you have your window switches as well, which are one-touch up and down, which is really nice. You do, however, on these seats, have this storage pocket. You don't have the MOLLE grids or the nets, but you can still store stuff in here as you would find on a regular vehicle. Now, because this is the hardtop, the MIC top, Ford announced that you can get the sound deadening headliner for no additional charge. We tested this with decibels on a 2-door Sasquatch in Moab, going down the highway at about 65 miles an hour, and we got a reading of between 68 and 70 decibels. That was an R test, so it may not represent your real world scenario, but with the sound deadening headliner, it certainly does make a difference in at least my experience, and the test resulted in that as well. Let's move up to the front. Hopping onto the front seats now, as I mentioned in the back, these are the cloth seats. They come in a 2-tone sort of heathered gray and black onyx. I think they look really nice, and the cloth seating material actually feels pretty premium and soft, so I'm happy with it. Regardless, your center console is still gonna be wrapped in vinyl. This is a black vinyl, and then your door panels or your door armrests are gonna be wrapped in vinyl as well, just because they're high touch points. Ford wanted to prevent too much wear and tear, as your arms are gonna be resting on these quite a bit, so they added that for you guys. Additionally, This center console is square. It's not, you know, some weird shape or any weird divots or holes. So you will be able to fit cool accessories in here. We've seen some fridges, which would be one of my personal favorites because it's always nice to have cold water or whatever beverage you drink, non-alcoholic, of course. Don't drink and drive. But it's going to be great to be able to fit in there. And Ford has provided a cigarette lighter outlet in this center console as well to hook up accessories like that. There's also a little indentation here, so if you wanted to plug a phone charger or something in here and route the cord out, you could be able to do that without fear of it getting smashed when this closes. Of course, on other Broncos as well, it is lockable. Moving down, you do have your window controls. They are all one touch up and down, which is great. And then to the right, you do have your electronic mirror controls, although do note they are not power folding because they're cowl mounted. Cup holders, get your goat modes dial. Because it is Sasquatch, you do have the 2 high, 4 low, and 4 auto, as well as your trail control button right there in the center. Ahead of that, this is an automatic transmission, of course. So you do have your selector, your Bronco badge, and then your climate control right here. You do have heated front seats, which is awesome. Dual zone automatic climate control with 3 settings. And then you have your infotainment above that and your auto start stop deactivation switch. If we go ahead and power on the vehicle, you'll notice that this one has an 8-inch screen running Sync 4, of course. You got your nice Bronco animation there as the vehicle comes to life. You are going to be able to enable Android Auto and wireless Apple CarPlay, or you can do a wireless connection as well. I personally prefer the wired connection, just because the lag time is a little bit less there. So if you're wanting to skip songs or hop on a call or something like that, the lag and the delay between the input and the actual response in the system is a lot lower when it is a wired connection. But if you don't want wires and you want to do wireless Apple CarPlay, that's awesome as well. Moving ahead, you have your hero switches on the top. You do have your front and rear lockers, your traction control off, and your hazards, which we've all shown you before. And because this is a Sasquatch, not much has changed from the previous two, but again, we just wanted to show you that. You do have your gray IP topper. This is textured because this is a more recent unit in production. So it is nice to see the texture. With each vehicle, we get a little bit closer to what the final production ones are gonna look like, which is really exciting. Your black insert in here, and then of course your gray accents around the vehicle on the grab handles. Now this does have a variety of goat modes. You start out in normal mode. You also have eco, sport, slippery, mud and ruts, and sand. You do not get Baja mode, you have sport mode instead, and you do not get rock crawl mode. So just something to keep in mind. Now this mirror is auto dimming. You have your reading lights per usual up here. You got your 6 aux switches, your mirrors, which are lighted. Of course, they tilt and slide. Hello, as well. And then all of your latches for the hardtop up here. Modular hardtop, of course, you get one panel here, one panel there, one panel in the middle, and the back cap. I love when I'm driving a Bronco to take off these front 2 pieces, just because A, it's really easy, they can store in the back really easily, and then they're easy to pop right back on, so it gives you that kind of cool sunroof experience. And it's really easy to do, especially on a beautiful day like today. This vehicle is also equipped with the Ford Copilot 360 system, which gives you cruise control and lane keeping assist. It does not have the adaptive cruise control with stop and go, and it doesn't have lane centering, but it does have generic cruise control and your lane keep assist, which will kind of nudge you or vibrate the wheel if you start to veer out of your lane. Just another added safety system. And as I mentioned with the mirrors, you also get the blind spot monitoring system, or bliss, which has saved my butt multiple times. And honestly, when I get in a vehicle without that now, I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel blind. Duh, blind spot. It's the end of the day. I'm tired. But nonetheless, that about wraps it up for this interior. You do have the carpeted floors. This one has the optional weather floor mats, which I showed in the back, but the standard option on here is going to be that carpet. There are carpeted mats in the back that came with this vehicle, but for these purposes, they did throw the weatherized floor mats in here. Now, while these are the upgraded Sasquatch wheels, the standard wheels on Big Bend is going to be a 17-inch aluminum painted carbonized gray wheel. Those are viewable on Build and Price. We apologize, this unit does not have them, but we couldn't get our hands on one. Well, thanks so much for joining us on the walk around of this 4-door Big Bend 2021 Ford Bronco with the Sasquatch package in iconic silver. Hoped you enjoyed it. and we answered a few of your questions. As always, make sure to ask any further questions in the comments below or over on our forums. And if you're not already, make sure you're following us on all of our social media pages, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, the whole 9 yards. We're pretty much everywhere at the Bronco Nation, so interact with us there. If you haven't already, hit the thumbs up button down below and hit the big red subscribe button. It really helps us out and let us know that you loved our videos. And until the next one, we'll see you out on the roads. Bye.